I always used to follow the bullshit online advice of as long as it fits your macros and your calories, you can eat whatever you want, as long as you get your protein. It's bullshit because I felt like shit, I looked like shit, I was inflamed, and I never focused on the one thing that as a man matters more than anything else is your testosterone, because this is your life force and it has been cut in half in the last 50 years. Since the 1917s, men's testosterone has dropped over 50%, which is absolutely ridiculous. It's why men are soft, feminine, they've got no drive, no energy, and no motivation whatsoever, is because testosterone is the primary male sex hormone and it drives all of these things. And in this video today, you're going to learn absolutely everything you need to know to reach 1,000 nanograms per deciliter testosterone. This is the upper end of testosterone and we want to be as close to that as possible. And in this video, you're going to learn exactly how to do that. And I teach guys how to do this and they see these results inside of the high testosterone blueprint, which you're going to find in the description. But I'm going to break it down into 3 steps, covering the foundations, advanced hacks, and the high testosterone mindset as well. Starting off, we have the foundations. People are obsessed with testosterone boosters and supplements and stuff, but you have to get the foundations right first, otherwise it literally doesn't matter, and it comes in the form of about 5 or 6 things. The biggest lever you're probably going to have to pull is going to be your diet. If you're consuming loads of seed oils all the time, seed oils aren't necessarily bad for you every now and again, but if your diet is very high in them, it's far from optimal. If you're not eating predominantly whole foods, I eat whole foods all the time. I never really eat junk food whatsoever. I don't try and fit it into my diet because this doesn't suit the high testosterone lifestyle we're trying to achieve. You don't want to be having sugary drinks. You don't really want to be having takeaways or anything like that. It needs to be kept to an absolute minimum. If not, get rid of it completely. Your diet wants to be predominantly red meat, eggs, and fruits, because these are the most nutrient dense foods. They're going to give you the fat and the protein and the minerals and micronutrients that you actually need for your body to produce testosterone. You're going to get enough cholesterol, which I'm going to go on to later, but you have to fix your diet. This is an absolute non-negotiable. If you're trying to increase your testosterone but you're not willing to change your diet, you're not going to be able to increase your testosterone. This is such a major part of the game. And the second foundation is your sleep. Your hormones and testosterone are literally produced while you sleep. How do you expect to have high testosterone if you're not allowing your body to produce it? You need to be getting 8 hours a night of very high quality deep sleep, deep and REM sleep. You want to get as much restorative sleep as possible. 4+ hours of restorative sleep is quality. You're going to produce a lot of hormones with that. You want to be in a cold and dark room. You want to then optimize your sleep as well. After you've got the 8 hours and consistent schedule down, you can do things like blue light blockers. These are glasses, so you're limiting screens and the blue light that's going into your eyes before bed. You can have chamomile tea. You can supplement magnesium. You can have glycine, for example. There's a lot of things you can do, and I have made full sleep guides on my YouTube for free, so you can check them out after this video. But sleep and diet are 2 major players in your testosterone, and they need to get fixed before anything else. And then number 3 is stress, because stress comes in the form of cortisol, the primary stress hormone for the body. And if you are chronically stressed, you are going to have chronically low testosterone, because cortisol, when it's up, testosterone is down. So when you've got high cortisol all the time, you cannot have high testosterone. It puts a ceiling on how high your testosterone can go. Short-term cortisol spikes are fine because this happens in the gym and training and actually lowers baseline cortisol over time. But if it's up too much, if you're stressed at your job or you're not getting enough sleep, or maybe you're overtraining, this is going to affect your testosterone and it's going to put a ceiling. It doesn't matter if you do the rest of these things. If you're chronically stressed, you cannot produce enough testosterone, you cannot have high testosterone. A few things you can do: you can meditate, you can go on walks, take breaks from social media, just take micro breaks in the day. Sleep is going to play a major role in your cortisol levels as well. If you're getting shit sleep, your stress levels are going to be fucked. It's like 2 things combining to give you low testosterone and high cortisol. Saunas and cold exposure 2 or 3 times a week can work as well, as long as you don't overdo them. But you need to minimize your stress if you want to have high testosterone. And number 4 is you want to get sun every single day. You want to get 30 to 60 minutes of midday sun with no sun cream. You don't really want to wear sun cream. It's endocrine disrupting. It disrupts your hormones. You don't want to avoid the sun because it is the world's life force. This is 30 to 60 minutes midday. And you also want to get 5 to 15 minutes in the morning. This is more for your circadian rhythm and just using the light as an indication to your brain of what time of day it is. That sort of sets you up, sets your body clock up for the day to align your energy with the day and night cycle, so you've got energy throughout the day. The sun is needed for vitamin D3, which is actually a pro hormone as well. A lot of people think it's a vitamin. It's not. It is a pro hormone. You need to get your sun. If not, supplement vitamin D3, 5 to 15,000 IUs a day. I do 12,000 personally, with K2 as well. But the sun is a non-negotiable. And number 5 is training. There's so many health benefits of training, and when you get all these health benefits, you usually are going to increase your baseline testosterone as well. But obviously you've got the hormonal response that comes with short-term training, and also the effect that it can raise your baseline long-term. You want to focus on compound lifts, squats, deadlifts, bench press, farmer's carries, sled push, sled pull. Big exercises that recruit multiple muscle groups are going to be best for testosterone specifically, but you want to be training realistically 3 or 4 times a week in the gym. You can do low intensity steady state cardio as well, maybe. So this is like walking or really slow jogging or cycling. You can do that 4 to 6 times a week. That's going to be good for reducing your body fat and actually allowing yourself to build muscle and build a good body composition. And that brings me on to my next point, is your body fat. Because if you are above 20% body fat, you are going to experience something called aromatization, which is an enzyme in the fat tissue that converts testosterone into estrogen. And estrogen is the primary female sex hormone, so we don't want that. And usually if you've got high body fat, you're going to have high estrogen because of this. Realistically, we want to get in between 10 to 15% body fat. How do we do that? It's very simple. We stay in a calorie deficit for long enough, but the trick is you want it to be a deficit of 300 to 400 calories and lose it slowly. Realistically, you want it to be in a small deficit because you have got to get into that lower body fat percentage of 10 to 15% to stop aromatization from happening too much. But body fat is an absolutely crucial one. There's so many health problems that come with being in a high body fat percentage anyway. But so far we've got diet, sleep, stress, sun, training, reduce your body fat percentage. And number 7 is we've got alcohol. Alcohol is an absolute enemy for testosterone because you're going to get bad sleep, which is going to spike your cortisol and not allow you to produce hormones. It's going to affect your recovery in the gym. Alcohol is usually estrogenic, especially beer. It's calorific. It's going to increase your body fat percentage. It puts fat loss on hold. You cannot burn fat while alcohol is in your system because your body is just digesting and removing the alcohol. There is so much wrong with alcohol, but you don't have to remove it completely. I would honestly say just do it once a month if you have to. I do it like once every 2 months. I don't go crazy anymore either because it is an absolute enemy for testosterone. It kills that fire inside you. It just makes you lazy. It doesn't want to make you do absolutely anything. And number 8 is porn/dopamine. Porn is poison. It has to go. There's so many things that are wrong with it in terms of just your dopamine, but also how you start to perceive relationships and sex and women. And dopamine, what I mean by that is just scrolling, video games, sugar, all of this type of stuff that is just cheap gratification. If no effort is required to get the dopamine, it is usually going to be bad because it teaches you not to put any effort in life to get your reward, this dopamine, which is wrong. Porn completely fries your brain. Scrolling, all of this shit completely fries your brain. It fries your motivation, making all of this harder, and it has an indirect impact on testosterone. You shouldn't be doing this whatsoever. I've got so many videos where I go into depth on dopamine and porn, and I've got a complete focus and dopamine reset guide inside of my program. But what you need to do is you just need to set up systems. You need to change your environment. You need to set up blockers on your phone. You need to delete social media apps if you have to. Realize what your triggers are. Are you bored? Are you stressed? Is it nighttime? You have to get rid of it. It's hard, but it's a non-negotiable, I'm afraid. And the final fundamental is endocrine disruptors. These are effectively hormone disruptors that are just found absolutely everywhere in modern life. Basically, every single man nowadays has plastic in their balls, which is making everyone infertile. It's killing their testosterone because what these do is they mimic estrogen. And like I say, estrogen is the female sex hormone. Endocrine disruptors can come in the form of plastic water bottles. It can be in lining of cans. It can be in like deodorants and shampoos and stuff like that. That's why you've got to try and go as natural as possible. For example, I have my own soap, just natural ingredient soap. When I do use it, I have natural deodorant as well. But when you are living this very clean lifestyle, you'll find that you don't get that dirty, and you don't actually need all this shampoo and shit and fucking face serum. You're just putting so much garbage on your body. I've been there, I've done it. It doesn't even help. Whenever I was putting stuff on my skin was worse. You have to try and minimize these from your environment. So get glass bottles, opt in for natural skincare and health products, cook in stainless steel or cast iron, don't use plastic spatulas, always try and use wood or metal. There's a few things you can do. I've got whole guides, like I say, on endocrine disruptors inside of my program. But those are the foundations of building that base level of testosterone. If you do all of this, you can get very, very close to optimal testosterone just by doing this alone. This plays a major, major role in your testosterone levels. But now we're going to move on to more advanced methods of things you need to think about to actually maximize your testosterone. The reason I call this advanced is just because you've got to do the foundations first and then you implement these things. I don't think these should be skipped at all. But the first one, we're going to go into a few supplements as well. Magnesium, which I mentioned earlier, specifically magnesium glycinate. Why? Because there's about 1 million effects of magnesium. It's going to help you sleep. It's going to give you better recovery. It's going to have indirect and direct effects on testosterone. And you want to have 400 milligrams a day. I do 200 post-workout, 200 pre-bed. Seems to work for me, or just do all of it before bed. It's really up to you. And then also zinc as well. This is one that I notice if I don't take it that I don't feel anywhere near as good. I've got a 25 milligram supplement, which is on the upper end, and it can be bad if you do that. But I also have 2 milligrams of copper, because if you have too much zinc, you deplete your copper ratios and it actually harms your testosterone if you're doing that. So if you're taking zinc, either take a 10 to 15 milligram supplement, or like I do, it's from Nutrition Geeks or something, is you get a 25 milligram supplement that includes a 2 milligram copper supplement inside, just so your ratios are balanced. Zinc is needed for the production of testosterone. It's directly involved. And number 3 is you need to eat cholesterol. And you're probably going to think, oh, cholesterol, that's bad. It's not. Cholesterol is only going to be bad for you, and it's going to affect your cholesterol levels if you're living a very unhealthy lifestyle. Cholesterol won't give you a heart attack. The alcohol, the processed foods, the lack of sleep is what's going to make you ill and give you a heart attack and give you these heart conditions. You want to eat 1 to 1.5 grams of cholesterol a day. The easiest way to do this is 6 to 10 eggs. That is going to be 1 to probably closer to 2 grams of cholesterol a day. Very easy way to do it. Another way to get cholesterol and loads of micronutrients like zinc is to eat animal liver, something that I eat 1 to 2 times a week. You don't really want to do it more than that. But eat your cholesterol because it is needed to synthesize testosterone. Cholesterol is the raw material, the building block for testosterone. It is the precursor for your production of hormones. You have to eat it if you want to give your body the environment and the actual materials that are needed to increase your testosterone. And number 4 is eat, this is something I've started doing recently, eat Brazil nuts. Why? Because they're very high in selenium, and selenium works with zinc to produce testosterone. You literally need 1 to 3 nuts a day. That's it, because if you have more, you can actually risk selenium toxicity. That is how rich in selenium they actually are. Brazil nuts. You can also do animal organs per se, so you've got liver and heart is what I do, but you want to keep these 1 to 2 times a week. There's no need to eat them daily. You can actually experience problems with toxicity of vitamin A if you eat liver every single day, if you eat too much of it. Animal organs are nutrient dense powerhouses. They're going to give your body the minerals and nutrients they actually need to produce testosterone. It's an easy way to cover a massive range of the nutrients you actually need just by eating animal organs. Number 6 is leg training, because leg day is hormone day. I've made videos about this before. Is you want to take your legs to failure hard every single week. You want to do 1 deadlift session and 1 squat session a week, going very, very heavy, sort of in the 5 to 10 rep range, probably more 5 to 8 really, because you want it to be very, very heavy and very taxing. And these two exercises recruit such a large amount of the body, and they recruit such large muscle groups that you're going to see the biggest hormonal response. And when you train your legs, you are going to increase your testosterone, and that is because the legs are such big muscle groups and they're the biggest muscle group in the body. You cannot neglect them. Leg train twice a week, going to failure on most, if not all of your sets. Obviously, hold 1 to 2 reps in the bank when it comes to deadlifts and squats, because you have a high chance of injuring yourself if you're going to absolute failure on every single set when it comes to them. And number 7 is you can do sprints, and I would recommend that you do them once a week, because sprints have been shown to increase testosterone by something ridiculous. It's primal, it's animalistic. You can do things like visualize yourself chasing an animal or being chased. This shit actually works, going out and sprinting once a week, but it's very taxing on the body. So you just want a day dedicated to these. I wouldn't do these post leg day or post lifting at all, to be honest. But sprints, incredibly powerful tool. Number 8 is boron. This is a nutrient that is found in raisins and dates and stuff like that, but it's quite hard to get in your diet. And what does it do? It increases free testosterone, which is the amount of testosterone that your body can actually use, the amount of bioavailable testosterone that you have. And it does this by reducing HBG, which is sexual hormone binding globulin, which is what binds to testosterone and makes it inactive. It sort of works as like a reserve for your testosterone, so your body doesn't use too much at once. I go into detail on how you can actually reduce your SHBG more inside of my program. But you can supplement boron. You can do anywhere from 3 to 10 milligrams a day. I've been doing 10 milligrams a day for quite a long time, nearly like half a year. I think that it does help. It's very cheap. It's £10 for 180 days. But those are the advanced hacks you can implement to really increase your testosterone and really get to that upper level. But now we're going to go on to sort of the psychological side and the mindset that is around high testosterone and thinking like a high testosterone individual, and the mindset and the purpose that all goes into it. And you can channel all of this into the mindset and what I'm about to go on to. But the high testosterone mindset, because obviously there's a lot of things online about how to increase your testosterone, like the things that I've just listed, but you've got to channel this testosterone into something, because the body is going to reward you with testosterone when it has something to overcome, a challenge, a goal, a mission. And that is why every man needs like a mission or a goal or a purpose. I haven't lived without a purpose in a very long time, and I don't know how I would live without it, to be honest, because when you increase your testosterone, you want something to drive towards. And when men lack this, they go to sedation in the form of pornography, sugar, scrolling, video games. They hide in these forms of cheap comfort because they lack any fulfillment or mission or goal. And when you give this to yourself, paired with the lifestyle and the habits that I just listed before, this is how you really max out your life as a man and increase your testosterone, because you're working towards something and you're giving your body the habits and the environment and the nutrients to actually produce testosterone. You can 100x your quality of life, seriously, just by doing this. You need to stop blaming others. You need to stop having a victim mentality. You need to take control of your own life. You are a man. That is what you have to do. It is no one else's fault where you are. And you might hate me for saying that. I don't give a fuck, but it's true. Everything in your life is your fault. It's not your fault, maybe, the cards you were dealt, but it is your responsibility of how you actually play them cards. And you need to stop blaming others. That is such a pussy way to live. And your life should be mission driven. That sort of ties into the first point, is every action should move you closer towards your goals. You should be thinking about what you're doing and literally just simply ask yourself the question, does this action move me closer towards my goals, or does it move me further away? Because that's how you've got to think. You need to constantly learn, whether that's through reading. I've got a shelf of books up there, because you need to constantly develop your knowledge, because you can only go as far in life as your knowledge and your self-development. Read non-fiction. You can pick up like 4 books secondhand, under £20. I've got a high testosterone reading list inside of the program. You need to learn to enjoy and seek pain and grit, because you need to give, like I say, for the mission, it's about giving yourself challenge, something to push through and give your body a reason to give you testosterone, to work through and push through something, whether that's in your fitness, your business, or maybe in relationships as well, because realistically, all life is wealth, health, and relationships. Usually I wouldn't recommend you to get in a relationship before you've sorted these two out. When you sort your fitness, your testosterone out first, you get in shape, life as a whole becomes easier. And finally, you need to not get angry at things you cannot control. This is a waste of energy if you're getting angry at me, the news, politics, a guy on Twitter, an Instagram reel. You are wasting energy. You need to conserve your energy for your mission and your goal. And that, when people give me hate or comments or whatever, I don't get angry at it, because again, that would be a waste of my energy. I just think this person clearly has nothing better to do. No mission, no drive in life. So when a man doesn't have a mission, he will find 100 other things to do to fill this void in his life. And finally, the high testosterone formula. If you compare the lifestyle foundations that I gave to you with them extra habits and a high testosterone mindset multiplied by being consistent, when you have high testosterone, life is infinitely better. Your focus, your physique, your sex drive, your confidence. There is an unlimited list of benefits to increasing your testosterone. That is exactly why I made the high testosterone blueprint. It is the system I wish I had at the start. You'll learn absolutely everything you need to know about testosterone so you can reach that 1000 nanogram per deciliter range. There's going to be a link for that in the description. You can go and check that out. But apart from that, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found some value from it, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.